What's going on YouTube? Today we're taking a look at a really awesome smart lockbox from the guys over at Linkstyle. This is the Matirx II smart lockbox, and it can be unlocked in multiple different ways. So you have a keypad right on the front. There's also a really cool biometric sensor, so you can unlock the box using your finger. You can also unlock it with Bluetooth. You can also unlock it with a smart tag. You can also unlock it with an old school key if that's your thing. And there is a USB-C port on the bottom, so if the battery's drained, which is usually about 10 months or so, you can go ahead and plug in a battery pack and get this thing juiced up so you can unlock it. But again, there's the key, so if you wanted to use the key to do that, that's one way that you could unlock it when the battery drains. So when Linkstyle reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to check out our smart lockbox? I said, you know what, it's about time I upgrade. It's about time I get some smarts when it comes to hiding my key. And I'm really excited to test this out. There's a couple improvements that I'd like to see Linkstyle do, and I'll get into those in just a little bit. What I like about the Matirx II lockbox here, again, it has a nice zinc alloy metal housing, and I have been using this for about a month, so excuse the beauty marks on it. I really wanted to put it through its paces, and I actually did have a realtor to use it, so I wanted to get their thoughts from a professional standpoint. Now, I usually just use these lockboxes to hide a key around my house. I never know sometimes if I forget my key and I run out. This is just a nice way to kind of put a key in the back, and it's also a good way if you have a visitor come by. You can just kind of hide a key, give them the code, and you're good to go. Not to mention if you have any workmen or something like that, you can hide a key and let them into your apartment or house that way. So a lockbox is a really good idea. Let me bring back the old school master just to show you the size difference. So it is considerably wider. I'd say it's a little bit taller as well. You can see that, just a little bit taller right there. Now the shackle itself is a little bit thinner compared to the master, but they say this has been really thoroughly tested. And I have tried to pull this off of my fence and nothing happened. Nothing really shook, nothing came apart, so that's definitely a good thing. So again, this is a smart lockbox. And speaking of smarts, what kind of smart lockbox would it be without having an application? Opening up the Linkstyle application, this is where you're gonna be able to unlock it. Again, right now I am connected to Bluetooth, so it's very quick to connect when you connect with Bluetooth, and you'll be able to see all of the notifications come through. And again, this is perfect if you wanted to put the app on someone you trusted's device. They can unlock it at will. They don't have to worry about PIN codes. You can add their fingerprint to the lock as well. But the really cool thing, as I showed you, you do get these smart tags, so this is a great way to give it to one of your visitors or put it on your main keys. But looking at the application, guys, really simple to navigate through. At the bottom here, you have a lock and you have an unlock slider. So let me just go ahead and unlock it. And you can see it unlocked with the application. And you do get a little alert that it opened, and then it automatically locked just like that. Scrolling down to the bottom, there's a couple of settings. So you do have a temporary code. And this is where my one suggestion would be to Linkstyle. It's an 8 to 10 digit password. That is super long. And that's what the realtor told me. They said, you know what, we have a lot of properties, and typing in 8 to 10 characters really takes some time, and it's not something that you can easily remember. So I get it. It's all about security. It's all about really keeping this locked down and really keeping it kind of tough to unlock. But I'd like to see a more, let's call it unsecure 4 to 5 digit PIN. I think that's plenty for most people. So if you're listening, Linkstyle, definitely give us a shorter password if you can. 8 to 10 digits is definitely something super long. Now, looking at all your options when it comes to the codes, I think they do a nice job of giving you a lot of different options when it comes to setting these temporary codes. So here's a time-limited code, so you can set the effective time and the expiration time, and you can add a code name. So if you wanted to put plumber or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case is, you could do that. There's a one-time code as well, and you can see on the bottom it's valid for 6 hours and can only be used once before it expires. There's a dynamic setting as well. It's valid for 5 minutes but can be used multiple times before it expires. I guess that would be nice if someone's standing right outside of your door and you're like, oh man, let me set up a code really quickly. You got a dynamic code right there. Here's a clearing code, and this is valid for 24 hours. Once it's entered, all the time-limited codes are going to be cleared. And then you have a custom one that you can select how you want it to do it. You can even repeat it on a daily or weekly basis. Really nice if you have maybe a cleaning person come in. That would be really nice to set up a custom code. Now going back, here's your member management. This is where you can set up family members or set up different admins to use the smart lock. Now they do have to set up for an account first, so that's one thing I just wanted to let you guys know about. Once you've set up a family member, you can add different fingerprints, you can add a code, you can add the card, and there's the effective time. Of course, being a member, it's going to be a permanent code. So let's just show you how quick it is to add a fingerprint. Let's click on Add Fingerprint, click on Next right there, and pick up the Matirx II. And it's pretty fast, guys, just like your smartphone. You did it 4 times, and it already added, so I'm just going to click this one, left index finger. And you can choose to enable notifications when this person unlocks it. And I like this feature because it means that if you have a loved one that's always using the lockbox for some reason, or a kid, anything like that, you can choose whether or not you want to get a notification that they've unlocked the lock with their fingerprint. I'm just going to choose no notification because I think that's the better option. Now, once again, guys, adding a code, you can have separate codes for each member, so you can create specific codes for them. Again, 8 to 10 digits, I think that's a little bit long in my opinion. I'd like to see 4 to 5 once again. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. The next option you have is to add a card. Now, I've already added my card to it, and I like these smart cards once again, really, really simple. And they do give you 3, so again, it's nice if you just wanted to add it to your keychain or leave it in your car, or again, you could give this to a realtor to make it a little bit easier for them to get in and out of your abode. What you have to do is tap it right there, and it's going to unlock the lock, and then the lock automatically locks by itself. So just like that. So right away, guys, you can see why I think this is the best mousetrap. There's so many different ways that you can unlock this smart box. Clicking on more, there's a couple options, and again, this is something I do have to bring up. Now, they did send me the remote Bluetooth box, and I'm going to tell you more about this in just a little second. But if you wanted to use this, you'd have to enable remote unlock in the settings. There's also a remote voice unlock, so if you wanted to use your smart speaker to unlock your lockbox, you could do that. Again, multiple different ways that you can unlock this. There also is near field unlock, so when you get close to it, it's going to unlock the lockbox. There's also an auto lock feature. Of course, being a smart lockbox, you want this to lock by itself, and you can choose the duration all the way up to like 30 minutes. I don't know why you'd want to take that long, so let me just kind of get out of that. I like to leave it at about 5 seconds, so it locks really quickly. Here's the lock volume as well, so it's just going to tell you unlocked or locked. I mentioned also that there is possibly smart unlocking remotely if you wanted to do that, but at the moment, the remote box, this box right here, I do not recommend that you get. It just didn't work, and I've tried multiple different times to get it to work, and the problem seems to be with the Bluetooth range. Bluetooth should be pretty good for about 30 feet, but in order to get this to work, I had to really put it like 3 feet away, and that's just not something that's practical. That's really not something that most people are going to be able to do. So I don't recommend that you pick this up. Again, it's a smart lock box that's going to work multiple different ways of unlocking. So this really is something that I don't see a lot of people needing, but if you did need it, just know that it probably has to be pretty close. Probably has to be like that close to it. But let me just plug it in. I'm going to show you if it is close by, it's going to work pretty nicely. So here's my Matrix hub, and we're gonna let this kind of connect to my Wi-Fi, and then, oh, it already turned on. So here we go. Let's go ahead and turn off Bluetooth. And then let's go ahead and connect to the lockbox. So it works now, guys, but I've tried multiple different times. It just didn't work, and it auto-locked. I just want to show you that it auto-locked. I placed this obviously outside, and I placed this about, I'd say it was about 8 feet away, and it just never got a connection. Unless I put it super close, like I said, about 3 feet away, then it would get a connection. So this is not practical. I don't suggest you guys spend the extra dough to get that Wi-Fi bridge. It's just not something that's going to work. But there's so many ways that you can unlock this. So really having a Wi-Fi bridge, I don't see is something that most people are going to need. When it comes to the Matrix box, most people are probably going to connect it via this shackle right on the top here. You could also put it on a handle just like this. Keeps it nice and tightly secured. Fingerprint scanner works really, really well. Or of course you can put it on a fence or a railing. Very, very secure here as well. But if you didn't want to use that shackle, this is wall mountable. So you have 4 different screw points on the back here. And you can see the plugs on the inside, so all you'd have to do is pop these out, use those anchors that are in the box, and you could mount this on the wall. Again, there's a bunch of different ways that you can mount it, but I actually like the shackle right here. Now speaking of keys, guys, let's just go ahead and see how many keys we can fit inside here. And I do have quite a bit of keys. Let's see if all this is going to fit. And it seems to be just a little bit too much. Let's see if we get a little rearranging going on. Yep. And there we go. Everything is locked. Now that's not something I'd be able to fit in that old style that I had. And we can unlock it, and no problems just about that. So I really like the Matirx II, guys. I think it's a really nice device. And there's just one more thing I want to address before we end out this video, and that's the IP65 rating. So it should be good with the elements. I've had this outside, like I said, for about a month. So let's head outside and see if there's any water that was inside of this box, and then we'll come back and finish out the video. Alright guys, so we're doing a little bit of a road trip. Come along with me. We're going to check out how my Linkstyle Matirx II lockbox did with all this rain that we just had in New York. I've had this bad boy sitting out here for about a month, so I'm kind of curious to see if there's any water that got on the inside there. So far, it looks pretty good. Now, let's go ahead and open this up. Here's our Linkstyle. Go ahead and open this up here. So there's a little water on the bottom, as you can see there. A little bit of water there. Well, let's check out the key compartment. Actually, let me unlock this, and then let's inspect it together. And as you can see, there's a tiny bit of water right here. Let me just go ahead and shake it out. So a tiny bit of water got on the bottom compartment there. And let's see the keys. The keys are dry. So it looks like a little bit of water got in through the gaskets right on the top there, those little rubber stoppers. I'm guessing that's where the water came through. Still opens up very easily. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's head back to the office. So guys, as you saw, there was just a little bit of water that got on the inside here, and I'm assuming that it's all because of the shackle. I think it's just getting in just a little bit from the inside. That's what I'm assuming. It's just kind of seeping on the inside there. Now, one way you could fix that, obviously, is if you mounted this exactly where you wanted to mount it. You could put a little bit of silicone on the bottom there. That really wouldn't make much of a difference, and that would seal out the entire box. So I would like to see, maybe in the Matirx III, put a little bit more of a weatherproofing gasket on the top here, make it a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. And I think that would solve the problem, because I don't really see how water would get inside of this any other way. But that's all when it comes to the Matirx II, guys. I think it's a really nice, smart lockbox. I'm super happy with it. I can fit a lot of different keys in there, and it can be mounted in a bunch of different ways. So I'm actually really happy with it. If you have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments below. If you're looking for a smart lockbox that's going to keep your keys and going to allow you to unlock it in multiple different ways, and some pretty high-tech ways as well, I like this smart key. That's just me. Check out the Matirx II. I'll throw some links down in my description. Appreciate it. Catch you in another video.